Welcome back to the Indie Critic, the show on the internet where we never actually talk about indie games. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about some news. And I'm sorry, this isn't generally like a news channel or anything like that, but I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this fucking news. As some of you may know, I love Alien Isolation. This game brought me out of like this huge gaming slump that I was having after playing through like Hob and a bunch of other shitty games. And it was actually the first game that I 100%ed since Call of Duty World at War.
Why are we talking about Alien Isolation?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because Alien Isolation is having a sequel. And I know, sounds pretty obvious. Of course, Alien Isolation is having a fucking sequel. The game basically revived AAA horror games. But we're not being graced with an alien AAA horror game. No, on the contrary, we are getting a fucking mobile game. Which is such a huge slap to the face for Alien fans and horror game fans. And not even just to that demographic of people, but to the entire gaming community. This move is solidifying the idea of moving AAA IPs over into the mobile market. Whether this game succeeds or fails, we are still going to end up seeing more AAA IPs moving over to the mobile market. First, it was Activision and Blizzard releasing Diablo Immortal for strictly the phone, and now we're getting the Alien series having a game being released for strictly the phone as well. But this move with the Alien series pisses me off so much more than the Blizzard and Diablo debacle.
Why's that? I thought you loved Diablo.
Well, settle in, grab your sugar cookies, get your teacups, because we're gonna go through this goddamn trailer, and I'm gonna show you exactly why this pisses me off so much more than Diablo Immortal. Wow, what a way to open your scene. I'm a huge fan of the 5 to 10 frames of the character not actually moving. Cut those frames and start with the character moving the camera. That way, instead of it being such a jagged cut with these 10 frames not doing anything, it'll flow a lot better if you just cut the frames out. Which leads us to the first little bit of information that I knew that I was fucked. So just to put this in context, I 100% believe that Alien Blackout was going to be a real sequel to Alien Isolation. Back when rumors started to fly last year, that was all that was said, was that it was a sequel for Alien Isolation. And the first thing I saw when I realized how fucked I was this goddamn model. As soon as I saw this one model, I knew I was fucked. So I stamped that with the mobile shit stamp of approval and continued on with the fucking trailer. Right into the next bit of information, which really pissed me off being so heavily integrated with the indie game scene. Tell me, what does this remind you of? It's almost like we've seen this before. Where have I seen this? Why is this so familiar? Oh, it's because it's Five Nights at fucking Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's was released August 8th, 2014 to an audience much larger than Scott Cawthon could have ever predicted. And hey, what do you know? Right at the height of my indie game delving scene. So of course I knew about it. I played it on stream and never really cared about it, to be honest. And then, in a split second, in the blink of an eye, this one game turned into 4 games. And me, being me, of course, at the time I made a fucking comment on it. How can somebody release the same game 4 times in 1 year? Like, not even in a year, release the same game 4 times. And still people fucking buy it. How? And you know what? I still stand by this comment to this day. And I 100% believe that Scott Cawthon, the little boy Scott Cawthon, was milking his fans for all they got. Releasing poorly written books, promising film adaptations, fucking releasing a bunch of fucking games that are just slight variations of the original game, and feeding the YouTube community very small information about a story that didn't exist at the inception of the game. I pretty heavily disagree with a lot of Scott Cawthorne's business moves, but you have to respect the man for being able to milk the fuck out of his community and make a goddamn fuck ton amount of money from a bunch of 12-year-olds. So you gotta give props where they're deserved, I guess. Just like everyone expects with a huge growth in popularity, Five Nights at Freddy's had a ton of ripoffs, like this shit, and this shit. Alright? However, no one could have expected this imitator to come out of the woodwork. An alien imitator. In 2019. Fucking 3 years after the height of Five Nights at Freddy's, you would never expect a random, highly regarded IP like Alien releasing a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. It's such a blatant ripoff that I literally cannot even stand it. Seriously, at least Diablo Immortal is a fucking Diablo game on the phone. Alien Blackout is Five Nights at fucking Freddy's with a goddamn new paint job that doesn't even look that good and it's already decrepit. It's fucking unbelievable. I mean, props to the studio. Okay, you gotta have some pretty big balls to release a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. Remember how Battle Royale became incredibly popular last year and spawned a ton of imitators? We have Ring of Elysium, we have Fortnite, we have Call of Duty Blackouts mode. Why am I not pissed about these games ripping off of the Battle Royale formula? Well, I'm gonna explain my reason. Fortnite added the building mechanic and simplified shooting, making the game a lot more accessible and fun to play for everyone. Call of Duty Blackouts mode implemented zombies and side objectives, it improved on the dropping system, and it massively improved in the movement system with non-momentum based movement. Ring of Elysium. It did everything that PUBG did, except made the game actually run and was actually playable. It changed the spawning system so you could fake people out and trying to spawn at different places in different towns, stuff like that. The main reason I'm pissed off with Alien Blackout is because it is just taking the Five Nights at Freddy's formula and not innovating or changing it in a meaningful way. Here's a bit of advice. If you're gonna steal from Wikipedia, at least slightly restructure the sentence. We live in the age of the internet. Someone is always gonna know when you're stealing from someone else. So here's some advice. Learn how to steal better, or fuck off. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm sorry for the bit of hiatus there. I flew out to my parents' house out on the island, and it was just a little bit harder to get back into the writing spirit and all that. And just so you guys know, I have a second channel, Brandon and I do, where we release edited gameplay content. We have this Dead Space 3 co-op video over here, which is actually so fucking funny. Like, I love this goddamn video. You guys should go check that out. Maybe subscribe to that channel. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all on the next one. See you later, guys.
Shit, dude.
Whoa!
I'm fucking wiggling backwards.
What the fuck? Is this
that thing looks
dude,
angry?
Is this the Lara Croft reboot?
Wheels.
This is the Lara Croft reboot. Oh, I just got it eaten by a jet turbine.
Oh, dude, I saw that. Your fucking limbs were everywhere.
Yeah.